Hi, I'm Ed. Today we're going to find out why a Frigidaire refrigerator isn't cooling in the refrigerator section. When this happens, it usually means there's a defrost issue. So the problem would be related to a failing defrost thermostat, defrost heater, or a control board. In most cases, you'll see a heavy frost buildup on the back panel of your freezer compartment. Let's go through each step together so you can make this repair yourself. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can get notified when we post new videos. With over 2 million products in stock and the know-how to help you do it yourself, we are AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we're going to need a 1/4-inch nut driver and a multimeter. Also, please remember that safety comes first. Always remember to disconnect your fridge by unplugging it or switching the breaker off before testing or making a repair. Now we can check the defrost thermostat. First, we need to open the freezer door and remove the shelving. You will also need to remove the shelving rails on the sides by taking out the 1/4-inch screw that hold them in place. Then remove the 4 1/4-inch screws that hold the back panel in place. After you take the back panel off, you can find the defrost thermostat on the evaporator at the top left side. You'll need to test the defrost thermostat for continuity. To do this, set your meter to continuity and unplug the 6-pin connector located above the defrost thermostat. Then place one lead on the dark blue wire and the other on the light blue wire. If you have a multimeter with an audible tone like ours, then it should beep. If there's not an audible tone, then the meter will show a number. If it shows OL, that means that the defrost thermostat is open and is faulty. Keep in mind that the temperature of the thermostat for this unit has to be about 25 degrees for it to close. This thermostat is showing an open line, meaning it's faulty and needs to be replaced. Stick around to the end and we'll show you how to replace it. Since we already took the rear panel off in the freezer, we can go on to test the defrost heater. First, set your multimeter to resistance. Then disconnect the wire connectors for the heater. Put 1 meter lead to one connector and the other lead to the other connector. You should get a reading of about 27 to 33 ohms of resistance for the heater. If the resistance isn't in this range, then the heater is faulty and needs to be replaced. If the resistance is within this range, then the heater is good and we can move on to the control board. Keep in mind that when the defrost heater and defrost thermostat both test good, that means the control board is usually the source of the problem. But it's always a good idea to test it to make sure that it's true. To access the control board, take out the filter. At the back of the refrigerator at the top, you should see a 1/4-inch screw on the right side behind where the filter is located. Remove this screw, then drop the cover down. There will be 2 1/4-inch screws on the corner of the left side that are recessed in. Remove both of them. We need to remove the 3 1/4-inch screws under the control panel. These will be recessed into the panel. Next, remove the 1/4-inch screw under the cover at the back of where the filter would be. Once all the screws have been removed, you should be able to drop the control housing down so you can access the control board. You'll need to remove this clear plastic piece, which is called a light pipe. Then pull the front of the control housing to release the control board. We have the power on during disassembly, so you can see what we are doing, but you should have it unplugged when you do it yourself. Before we test the control board, we need to plug the fridge back in or switch the breaker back on. We will be checking live voltage, so remember to be very careful here. Always take extreme care when checking live voltage so you can protect yourself from electrical shock, which has the potential to cause serious injury. Please don't ever test live voltage if you're uncomfortable using a multimeter. In order to continue testing, we need to put the refrigerator into a forced defrost. To do this, you will need to push the light switch 5 times within 6 seconds to activate it. To test the control board, find the 12-pin connector on the back, then find the blue wire at pin 12 and the light blue wire at pin number 11. Set your multimeter to volts AC and test between pin 11 and pin 12 for 120 volts AC. With the defrost heater turned on, there should be 120 volts between pin 11 and pin 12 on the board. If you get 120 volts AC, that means that the control board is good and that there is a problem with the wiring. If you don't get 120 volts AC, then the control board is bad and needs to be replaced. Since the defrost thermostat failed testing earlier, here's how to replace it. For this, we're going to need a 1/4-inch nut driver, a heat gun, and wire strippers. You'll also want to make sure your refrigerator is unplugged. To remove the defrost thermostat, you'll need to unclip it from the evaporator coil. Make note of which line and location the thermostat came from. Now grab your wire strippers. You should see a cutter part on it. You can use that to cut the wires close to the thermostat. Then strip the wires that remain on the refrigerator about 1/4 inch. Now you can install the new thermostat using the butt connectors. Place one end of the connector onto the thermostat and crimp it down. Then use the second connector on the other wire and crimp it down. Slide the blue wire from the thermostat onto the exposed blue wire on the refrigerator and crimp the connector on. Then do the same thing with the light blue wire. Then use the heat gun to melt the heat shrink until it fully seals the connector. While doing this, be careful not to melt the insulation on the wires. Once the wires have been reconnected, clip the defrost heater back to the correct evaporator line at the top. Then put the back panel in place and reinstall the 4/4 inch screws. Once you put the shelving and drawers back into place and plug the refrigerator back in, you're done. You made it. Great job. And thanks for joining us today. And if you haven't gotten a replacement defrost thermostat yet, grab your model number and head over to appliancepartspros.com to order one. Most orders arrive in just a few days, and we have more videos to walk you through the installation process. Make sure to let us know how the repair went in the comments. And if you like this video, let us know by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you next time.